So here we are. This is BMW R80/7 and it is complete. As far as I can see, as far as all the work's done now and everything's ready to rock. So I thought I'd just do a little walk around of the bike. Got my luggage racks on. Yeah, so thought I'd go through a little bit of what I've done, just little highlights or whatever. But it looks pretty good, doesn't it? It's absolutely filthy. We're currently the middle of February. It's been raining all night or whatever, but it's so nice that today I thought I've got to get out. The bike has got 5,917, and that is kilometres. That's not miles, that's kilometres. Done the front brake conversion. These little rubber things are 18 quid each. I'm still salty about that. Little rubber bits on these bikes are very expensive. I think these were dear as well, but these are genuine BMW things. Look at the state of this mud. But, I don't want a pavement princess or whatever, or a fair weather fairy. I'm not a fair weather fairy rider. So this bike will look a bit ropey or dirty at times. So I guess it's there to be used. I don't want it to sit there and rust away, but it does look really good. I will have to try to keep this one clean and somewhat tidy. It's 1978, but I have put the more updated carburetors on. Apparently these are more reliable, and I was missing one anyway, so I thought let's get a new one and put him on, because I had one of these already, so I thought let's get the other one. So yeah, I will sort that out. But they are pretty much tuned. I've done all the work myself with some help a lot of help from friends who own these, like Mikey, who gave me this. Okay, so fantastic bike, it's the police bike and all that. So it's an ex-police bike from Oman, imported and all that. It's got some little extras, like the box for the radio. It's got a little hole that leads down to the battery, which is really cool. So if I want to wire up a sort of charger for GoPro batteries or something in there, that could be done. I might not. I don't know what I'm going to put in there yet. Maybe just a sandwich or some snacks or something. That is my start button, because this side switch gear was broken, so I've had to replace all that. Got the phone mount. Got a charge port here, for charging. That's my indicator switch. Eventually, if I see this switch gear, I will replace this. But I just want the bike running, and to replace this is very, very expensive. More expensive than the pannier racks and stuff like that. That part is, you can't find it. One of the really cool things I like about this bike is the toolbox, which is under the seat. Thank you, Mikey. Mikey gave me this toolbox, and yeah, look at the size of this. You can stick so much in here. I've got pretty much all the tools for the bike in here, which is really cool. And then the side stand is a nightmare, and this is an aftermarket one. This is actually made, so BMW Motorworks apparently actually make these. So that is an original foot peg, or the foot peg thing here, and they just weld on this nice big, it's called a Sure foot. They're not cheap, they're about 100 quid, but after a long day on the saddle, and if I'm on a big road trip, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it onto the main stand, especially when all the luggage is loaded up and you spent 8 hours riding, or an 8-hour day on the bike. I mean, I probably could do it, but that's the time when you're tired and you're going to probably drop it. I fitted these cheap luggage racks. I am warned about them. They might start to rust or show signs of whatever. They've been on about a week. No signs yet, but if they do go bad, I'm just going to paint them black anyway, because I was looking for black ones anyway, so I'm not really too fussed. So yeah, that is quite a nice BMW. Like I say, I've done a lot of work on it. I might put a playlist together and link it below. That front brake conversion was very expensive. Front brake rebuild, forks all rebuilt, racing head bearings all re-lubricated. Luckily, I didn't need replacing just the electrical issues were a nightmare. The batteries not cheap on these are 150 quid. I could have gone for a lithium or something like that for a lot cheaper, but that would mean me buying a different charger, which I don't own. So I'd have ended up spending more money on getting a decent charger for it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bit different. And so in total, though, how much has this thing cost me? It's not that much, really. Okay, it is a lot when you think about it, but it's taken me about 7 months to do this bike. That's 7 months, I think, or 7.5 months as we're standing here now. So about 7 months and some change. And I sold 2 motorbikes, a load of stuff. I think all my Star Trek all my Star Trek stuff is gone. That sold quite well, actually. That paid for luggage racks and some other bits. That was just the right thing. And the patrons, of course. Thank you again, guys. It took me 7 months. It might have taken me longer if it wasn't for Patreon and stuff like that and YouTube, because it's really been expensive. Just under 5 grand. This bike sitting here is just under 5 grand. I'll put the exact number on screen now, and that's where we stand today. There might still be little bits that I need to do here and there. It does include the double seat, that includes the tyres, that includes everything. Because I do have a full length seat for it as well. And I did get, this didn't come with it, but I did get foot pegs because I've got the double seat. I want to have the option just in case. It's best to have the double foot pegs. But yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic, this bike does. Well, I think anyway. It did have some problems starting, of course, because it's so old and it hasn't been on the road for an incredibly long time. But yeah, overuse. Once you start getting out for rides and stuff, it does start up much easier now, as you can see. Before it really used to struggle. But yeah, after a carb rebuild, and just actually running as well, it's much better than it was. Much better. Yeah, so like I say, everything that I don't like about the bike so far, I've pretty much changed. So side stand, swapped it. Front brake, swapped it. You know, I've made some little quality of life updates, shall we say. Quality of life patches, fixes, whatever. And having a side stand that actually I can use, stuff like that. You know, maybe if you're a bit taller you'd be alright with it, but for me, I can't. I can never get that side stand out far enough. This stock side stand was too stupid. But yeah, this is much better now, having this lovely aftermarket one that bolts on at the foot peg. So there is a love for these bikes, which people have fixed literally all the major issues that I would have thought, you know, just, okay, the handle fine and all that, and the narrow bars even. You can easily just change the bars to something else. You can change the bars to, you know, wider bars. They do make lots of different wider bars, and they make clutch cables for the wider bars, because this clutch cable can only go on this bike. If you go with a wider bar, you have to change the clutch cable, and I believe, depending on what year you have, you might have to change the throttle cables. But the throttle cables I've bought, there is adjustment on them, so you can make them to the correct length for both handlebars, I believe. You'd have to ask. I definitely recommend checking it if you're going to do that handlebar conversion. Check with Motorworks. Your throttle cables might be fine, they might not be, I don't know. But yeah, I've changed the throttle over from a 2:2 to a 1:2. Yeah, there's been so many things, but I replaced every single cable on the bike. I think the throttle cables are really expensive because there's 3 of them. I've got a feeling that was like 40 quid or something for a throttle cable, because there's 3 of them, and there's like a little bit in between that you need to, like an adapter plate or an adapter thingamajiggy that you need to do. So yeah, there's loads that needs doing, absolutely tons that needs doing. So yeah, anyway, that's it. Hope you've enjoyed this series of the BMW. Like, comment, whatever, and hopefully you'll see this bike out for some proper rides and some proper travel hopefully this, well, not proper travel, but definitely some camping trips this year, or this bike. Anyway, that's the next one.